So welcome to Steelscapes headquarters here on the North Norfolk coast. This is a brief but hopefully informative film on our range of edging and also a little bit of information on installation. So we're a small company, we've been trading for 21 years and we specialise in woven steel fencing and steel edging. So why steel edge? Well, if you're looking to create plumb straight lines or flowing curves, steel is a fantastic material. It's very durable. Our 6mm edging here will last in excess of 25 years, and when installed correctly into driveways, it can be driven over. So it's a very unobtrusive way of creating extremely sharp edges and sharp lines. But equally, it can be on full show. Our 300mm edging here and the 200 are often both used to create raised beds, etc. We are largely a trade supplier, typically to landscapers, civil engineering firms and developers. More often, we have been specified by architects and landscape architects who wish to have our edging included within their schemes. But we also supply the DIY market looking for a commercial grade of edging, which is simple to fit with some very basic tools. As a result, our edging can be seen in numerous public spaces to include street schemes, botanical gardens, 2 royal households, national trust sites, and of course numerous private gardens up and down the country and beyond. Our edging is made from solid mild steel. It will arrive as a dull grey, but over 6 months or so will weather to a sort of organic looking biscuit brown. And this colour will sit beautifully within the landscape. We'd advise against applying any sort of coating. The major benefit of steel edging is that it's zero maintenance. If you apply a coating, you're then adding a maintenance element. So what sets us apart? Well, we've learned from installing many kilometres of edging over the last 20 years to arrive at the self-fit edging system we have today. We honestly feel it's the most superior system on the market, and if we didn't, then we would change it. One of the most important aspects of self-fit edging is the joining system. The joining system needs to be strong enough to hold the edge together under stress. It needs to be flexible enough so that curves in the edge can flow through the joins uninterrupted, and also very simple to use, so it's quick. So the only way we've found to successfully achieve all those objectives is with an overlapping backplate, which is as thick as the edge itself. This ensures that when the edge curves, that the curve flows through the joins uninterrupted. So I'm just going to show you this now in a little more detail. We've got 2 sections of edge. We'll push them together, place the joining plate over the top so the bolts go through, and then simply do the nuts up. So the nuts are now done up finger tight. I'm just going to give them a final tighten with a 15mm spanner. Like so, and that's now a very secure join. It's so secure, in fact, you can join, say, up to 5 lengths of edging together before installing it in the final position. This saves a lot of time. That's basically installing 15 metres in one go. And just to show you the seam face, that's it. Just a very thin seam, and that's the join. There's no fixings at all. So once the edge is in position, you're ready to stake. And here we go, we just place the stake through the sleeves and hammer it home. We usually use a lump hammer, but you can use a sledgehammer. The stakes are certainly strong enough to tolerate a blow from a sledgehammer. So with each order, you'll receive everything you need to install the edge. All the stakes, the joining plates, and the nuts. And depending on the height of the edge, that depends on the stake length. So the higher the edge, the longer the stakes you'll receive. So now on to our range. So we do a range of edge heights, but 2 thicknesses. We do a 3mm and a 6mm. While there's only 3mm in it, they are quite different to work with. So the 3mm edging is usually used where you're trying to form particularly tight curves, or for areas where the edge isn't standing above the ground, so for driveways or paths where it's a bit more vulnerable. So it's more often used for borders. But every job's different, and we've had our edging, 3mm edging used for driveways, etc. as well. So now on to our 6mm thick edging. So it's only 3mm thicker than our 3mm, but it's a lot more robust. So it's used also for edging borders, but also for driveways, paths and terracing. It's actually easier to create a straight line with our 6mm thick edging as well. It's much more rigid. But it's also more flexible than people think. You can form a complete circle with this with a diameter of 3 meters, which seems hard to believe when you can see this short section here. But we're going to demonstrate that shortly with a bit of installation. Our 3mm thick edging comes in 3 height options. We have 150mm, 100mm and 75mm. So the 75 and 100mm are typically used to edge borders, and the 150 pathways, or if you've got a particularly high border edge. So our 6mm thick edging comes in 5 height options. So the 75 and the 100 and the 150mm heights, the same as for the 3mm edging, but also a 200 and a 300mm high edging option as well. So as before, the 75 and the 100 is typically used to edge borders, the 150 to pathways and occasionally raised beds, the 200 and the 300 also for pathways and roadways where there's a particularly high spec, or if you need the steel to retain the sub-base and hardcore as you're building the levels up. For pedestrian pathways, we'd recommend burying, say, a third of or half of the edge in the ground for stability. For borders, a third of the edge, is fine too. I mean, that said, every situation is different. We often provide the 300, the 200 and the 150 as raised beds, in which case very little is buried. So every situation is different, and if you've got any queries, just please get in touch and we'll gladly advise you. So we provide corner pieces for both thicknesses and all edge heights. There's 2 different types of corners, an internal and an external. So first of all, we'll show you an internal corner, which has no fixings on the inside, and then the outside has the fixings. So an internal corner is for where the inside should be seen, and obviously the reverse of that, an external corner where the external face is seen and the fixings are on the inside. So we can actually make corners to any angle. Obviously we need to know from you what that angle should be. This is a 3mm thick corner, so that gives you flexibility. Not every site has 90-degree angles. So the corner pieces come with a joining plate and the nuts, and just simply connect to the rest of the edge in the same way that the edge itself connects together. So with each length of edge ordered, you'll receive everything you need to install. So that's stakes, joining plates and nuts, and that's included within the meterage price. All you need once the ground is prepared is a lump hammer and a 15mm spanner. So we'll now go outside and I'll just do a brief demonstration of installation. Here we are outside, ready to do a little installation demonstration. On this side we have our 6mm thick edging, and on this side our 3mm thick edging. So I'm going to curve the steel to about its full extent, and then you'll be able to see a comparison between the 6mm and the 3mm, and also how flexible the 6mm thick edging can be, which is a question we're often asked. So I have the only 2 tools I need. So once the ground is prepared, all you'll need is a hammer and a spanner, or if you want to speed things up a bit, you can secure the nuts with a socket, a 15mm socket, which you attach to a drill, which makes very light work of then securing the joining plates. I'm going to go traditional and just use the spanner and the hammer. So obviously that was speeded up somewhat. There's 23 meters in total there. In real time that took about half an hour to install. You can really see the difference in the curves we can form with the 6mm on that side compared to the 3mm on this side. But both of those are very achievable on any site. So there's a lot more information on installation on our website, and also up-to-date prices. If you wish to place an order, please get in touch with us with your measurements and we'll provide you with a quote on the same day. If you have any queries about which type of edge to choose, again, please get in touch with us. It's really important to us that you get the right product. So lastly, it just remains to say thank you for watching, and I hope this has been useful.